Welcome back to the Revolution Wing Chun YouTube channel, guys. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about footwork. Footwork is exactly what everybody needs in their life in any striking system. If you have no footwork, you're not going to have any fun. So stay tuned and keep watching, guys, for the rest of this video because it's exactly what your Wing Chun needs. Welcome back, guys. We're going to talk about the footwork today in Wing Chun. So we're going to talk about the Seung or the advancing stance. It's a derivative of the Yiji Kim Ma. So if you haven't learned about the Yiji Kim Ma, I highly recommend that you go back in our information series, the fundamental series that we've been producing the last few weeks here. It'll give you everything that you need to know to get yourself started. This is the literal extension of what we're doing from Yiji Kim Ma. So you definitely want to go back and take a look at that if you haven't. So I'm going to set myself up in Yiji Kim Ma. The first thing that we always learn about is driving with our waist and our hip. Okay, so the Yuma, the waist, that's just a reference to an area of the body, but really it encompasses our core right down to our pelvic muscles. Okay, and there's a lot more detail about the unification that's happening here with that postural pelvic tilt, not a posterior pelvic tilt, a postural one. So you can take a look at what that means in your own time, but we're getting that, right? And that's covered in the Yiji Kim Ma clip. I'm gonna pull, draw forward, get this nice, tall, neutral spine. I'm not leaning back, I'm not leaning forward with my head or my hips or my shoulders. I'm stacked neutral right through one consistent plane, as you can see, okay? So from here, I'm gonna turn my hip, and when I turn my hip, this one starts to get a little lighter. So when it starts to get lighter and this one starts to get a little more pressure because of the hip pull, right? While this one pulls, the opposite drives forward. I allow this to lift and drive me forward, you see? So it's about changing the pressure distribution in our stance, okay? Because we learn how to balance and maintain that neutral position in Yiji Kim Ma, that 50-50 weight distribution, and now we're learning how to change it from 50-50 to about 60-40, okay? So now, as you can see, as the name implies, the advancing stance, the Seung Ma, has done exactly that. It's helped me advance from my previous position to the new one. How do we get back? Well, I don't want to just get up and walk back and then reset, right? That's incorrect. So I'll show you again. I set up, I drive from that rear position, that rear heel and midfoot, allowing this one to take the advanced position. I turn my hips, right, because we always want correct facing, just like we had previously, to face up to this new half of the triangle that I was creating back in Yiji Kim Ma, okay, so I'm facing up. Chu Ying is what it's referred to as, so correct facing. So now from here, I'm going to take my rear leg, I'm going to lift it, because there's pressure in this one just as much as there in the rear one, and it's going to drive me back, because this one's loaded. I'm not sitting back here, which is fairly common in many lineages. We're centralized with our spinal column in between our heels as evenly as possible due to the pelvic tilt, right? And the correct facing, our hips and shoulders facing up to this rear leg. So we're pressurized. A lot of pressure here, some pretty good pressure here. So I'm going to lift this one, and this one pulls me back. Now, the way to go all the way back is basically pull this hip and reset to Yiji, carving that angle. So I'm going to step up again. I'm going to go the other side now. Turn this hip, turn it. See, I'm going this way now. Up. And same way back, but now I lift the rear. That pushes me back. If I want to go all the way back, I drive. And you see, back to Yiji Kim Ma. This is a very basic way to get ourselves moving forward and backwards using the advancing stance and also what's referred to as the Toi Ma, the pressing or pushing stance. Ideally, we only reposition with the Toi Ma when we're being aggressed upon, right, with an opponent producing pressure into our structure. Okay, now you see I left my hands out of the equation, so very quickly I'll just show you a quick demo of me moving without too much instruction. And this is a very simple way, guys, to get your footwork advancing for you, right? And you can see everything that we've done in Yiji Kim Ma. And again, go back and watch that clip, guys. It's such a valuable piece of information to always understand and maintain throughout our stepping exercises. It all generates forward into the literal step that we need and that we're taking inside this video. I hope this video has been helpful for you guys. Be sure to subscribe and share. We can't wait to share more with you. Stay tuned for more, and happy training.